So first of all, and like a brief snapshot of what we are as group. Okay. So basically, we have this mixed business with waste and water. Okay. So solid waste and water. In the center slide, you see a little bit of our figures in terms of turnover and employees, so you have an idea of the dimension of the company. And then the geographical mix on the right. Okay, this is just to show our portfolio of activities. So what is UCD? So what I wanted to tell you today is that there are other approaches for infrastructure. Okay, so you do infrastructure either conventionally. Okay, infrastructure is very important for water business, mainly because you need this infrastructure to treat and to distribute water. Okay? So this is an alternative of doing infrastructure. Well, we'll see the advantages later, but so basically, these UCD, what is called the centralized solution from Suez, they are compact, modular, and containerized, and to secure access to drinking water and sanitation. So the idea is to faster the access to water and sanitation and to attain the SDGs. So basically, these are our solutions. So the range in the offers. Okay, so we have basically a kind of products that are on the left side of the screen. Okay, 5 products for water and 3 products for wastewater. Okay, solutions. And then our typology of offers. Okay, we have the UCD, which is we design and manufacture water treatment units. Okay, the high flow. So we scale these water solutions to supply more than 40 MLD in terms of drinking water solutions. Then we have a multi-UCD concept. Multi-UCD concept, what it is when we integrate these solutions in a level of a country to a global access water product. Okay? So it's called Water for All. And we bring financing. Okay? We do feasibility studies and we bring financing to, and you'll see some examples later in the presentation. Then we have the Smart Village. Smart Village, what it means, it's a solution for the rural world, where we integrate the essential services in one solution, okay, to foster not only the water and the sanitation issues, but also the socio-economic development of rural communities. Okay. And then the services, of course, not only after saves to show that our solutions continue to work, but mainly also to do some training, capacity building, and also some technical assistance to operate these systems. Sorry. Okay, so what are the differences between this and conventional infrastructure? So as we work with modular solutions, so basically what we do is that we construct these solutions in metallic. Okay? So the idea is that they are very modular, it's like Lego, so we can easily deploy them to rapidly mount a water treatment plant. So it's much faster than a conventional water treatment plant. So when you want to get access to water, you want to do fast track projects, you use mainly these solutions to increase your speed of doing this. Okay? The second advantage is the risk management. As you build them in a controlled environment, so you don't have the difficulty on the field to manage the construction issues that appear sometimes. Okay? So it's easier to control your time, the time of construction, and it's easy to manage your problematics. Okay? That's the fact that it's being mass produced, tested at Suez, so they can be delivered and commissioned rapidly. Okay? The solutions are automated, okay? And sometimes they can be equipped with the solar roofs. Okay? So there's a dimension also of sustainable energy production and linked with water, of course. So we do the training and the technicians on site. Okay? So that's one point important for us to ensure that the units get operated correctly. And of course our systems are being used for more than 26 years now. We have more than 260 references all over the world, and of course it's the quality that we've been using in Suez. Okay. So basically, if you see pointing, but from the left to the right, you see like a question of capacity. Okay, so we go from the very small, where you see an example on the left picture, to the right side, where you have an 80 ml water treatment plant doing with this solution in compact. So, not going to spend a lot of time here. That is to say that we have a global and integrated approach. What does that mean? It means that from the commercial to the after sales, so we integrate all the steps for developing a project, an infrastructure project with a centralized solution. Okay, from the commercial design, purchasing, manufacturing, control, logistics. So this guarantees to the clients that we have an input in each and every step. So it gives more guarantee to the client that they will achieve the result. In terms of an advantage that is important for these systems, was they're compact. We had the chance to compare to a conventional solution in concrete, and you see the footprint that is marked on the screen. So basically, you see the size of a 100 cubic meter per hour water treatment plant compared to a conventional water treatment plant. Okay, so basically, the footprint is lower, which means that you can seize some of your land to do other things. Okay? This is quite interesting, particularly when you have difficulties in construction, or the land construction is difficult, like swamps, which is the case in many countries in Southeast Asia, like Indonesia. So it should be easier to construct with this approach. Okay, and then the range goes from the very small to the big ones. In terms of the smart village, I'm not going to spoil the presentation for tomorrow, because we have a presentation dedicated to smart village and for rural communities that I'll present tomorrow, just to give you a snapshot of what it is. So basically, it's a solution that integrates all the essential services to rural communities. Okay? So basically, we have a pumping station from surface water or underground water. We treat it with a solar roof, okay, and we distribute it with the water distributors, water kiosks, okay. And on the top of this, we can introduce other items, mainly the treatment, the recovery of latrine sludge and agricultural organic waste to produce cooking and biogas. Of course, this is target for rural territories and rural villages, of course, in emerging countries. Okay? This is quite interesting because it has many dimensions that you can understand. That we talked in the last presentation about the women and the fetching for wood and the water. Of course, this helps to develop these local communities and these rural communities to bring them the essential services, so they don't need they can do other things. They can go to schools, so they don't need to fetch for water. So this is quite interesting. So this shows as well the socio-economic importance of these solutions, and our interest, of course, in Suez in developing and helping these communities. This is what I'm going to present tomorrow, okay, as an example that we did. So basically, there's a pumping station, then it pumps to a reservoir, and then, well, it's a water treatment plant, and then it pumps to a reservoir, and then it distributes with some kiosks that are on the village in Bakro, in Ivory Coast. Okay. So this slide is to show you what our offer in terms of service and after sales. Okay. So which means that one of the most important things for when you build infrastructure is how to operate it correctly, because you don't need an asset that you don't know how to operate. So it's the same thing. So there's a huge investment in assets. So it's also important, the capacity building and to know how to operate. And of course, Suez as an operator brings all this expertise, and we give support to the local operators and local teams to understand the problematics of operation of the system. Okay? So all of this is integrated in our offer. Another slide, important, okay, just to say that as Suez we have strong commitments with innovation, because innovation is important for us to differentiate, but also to integrate all the dimensions of that we have to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, so also in UCD we integrate all these dimensions in order to be sustainable. sustainable not only in carbon footprint, but also in terms of emissions and energy consumption. So our solutions are, we use the innovation in order to reduce the consumption and be more efficient in terms of energy consumption, which is quite a challenge also for utilities. These are some references that we have, well, since '92. We're working globally, so in lots of projects in Africa, in Southeast Asia, in Latin America, in Caribbean, and in the Pacific. So you can see this is, well, we have many more references that we can discuss. And then I will try to give you 5 examples of what we did, like case studies. Still have some minutes. So the first example is in Mali, in Calabancor. The thematics here is the resilience and speed. So basically, this client, for giving water in Bamako to the capital, they were being funded by the World Bank and the EFD at the time to build a big water infrastructure, 240 MLD. But it takes some time to build, lots of time to build a huge infrastructure. Okay? In the meanwhile, people continue to need for water. And so what they need to do is that they need to find quick solutions to have access to water. Okay? So this is an example of what they did. So the client, in 10 months, we installed this unit that is providing 22 MLD to the city of Bamako. In the meanwhile, they constructed the big water treatment plant, and now they are both operational and they are working in parallel, which means that they have a double capacity to serve with the system is more reliable. Okay? So this is the first case. The second case is for islands. We have a lot of countries with islands in Southeast Asia. The example of Indonesia, the example of the Philippines, the example of Malaysia. So, and this is quite interesting because, as you understand, it's quite difficult in islands to build centralized infrastructures because each island is a land, and so you need to multiply your infrastructure. And of course, there are some islands with some capacity, some scale, but there are islands that are small. And so you cannot have the approach of the big infrastructure for small islands. So this is an example where it could be interesting to look for. Okay? And the example is that in Fiji, the Pacific, which are islands, of course, we have implemented many solutions like the UCD. We have now more than 73 MLD in capacity installed in Fiji. And we're supporting also the Water Authority of Fiji with the operation of these units. Okay? Then this is an example in Southeast Asia. A recent example, and thanks to the teams here that have developed this project together with us. It is a fast-track project for a huge city, which is Manila. So it's providing water to Manila, which means that this can be also used to big cities. You can use these systems to big cities. I mean, to improve the availability of water quickly. Okay? So actually, it's an 80 MLD water treatment plant. It's the biggest water treatment plant of this kind that we have in our portfolio. And it was done in quite quickly. Okay? It was quite challenging, but it's been done quite quickly. We're very happy to have this reference in our portfolio. The fourth example is Indonesia. This example of modularity. And this example, I'm not going to spoil what my colleague is going to sell after the modularity of the BOT in example. So basically, the cities grow. And the cities grow in countries where the demographic are important. Demographic growth is important. In emerging countries, Indonesia is an example, lots of countries in Africa. And so those needs for water are increasing. And so what do you do when you do an infrastructure and 10 years after you need to have more water? So you need to build another infrastructure. And so sometimes you tend to put your capex dimension to a target and you're not using it all. So with these solutions we can phase the capex because it's modular. So as soon as we need more water, we put these solutions and it's more linear, the investment that we do. Okay? So this is the example, the modularity and expansion of a water treatment plant. And finally, as the last example of UCD offer is the multi-UCD. What are multi-UCDs? Is example that we are proud to present with the Ivorian government. So we work in order to have a water for all project in Ivory Coast. So the government had many stress with water in many localities in Ivory Coast, and so we deployed 40 units for 32 secondary towns in a single project. So basically, in very short time, they were able to install and have access to water for all these secondary towns. Okay, so this is quite interesting, also an interesting project that we developed in Ivory Coast. Of course, we managed also to bring the financing with the